morning and welcome back to Questioning Sense with me, Matt. Okay, right, today I'm going to talk to you about a fairly recent, very recent acquisition of mine and something that I think it's early days, but it might be love. Now, a couple of weeks ago I went to Harrods to do some sniffing basically. And it's a good place to go because there's a lot there that the sales assistants generally at Harrods are pretty good. They let you sort of handle bottles and have a spray, and some of them are really quite knowledgeable about the scent that you're after. So I tend to go with a fairly precise idea of what I'm going to look at, because I find if you're looking at more than four, well, for me personally, it all gets a bit confusing and I get a bit lost in what I'm doing. So this particular day, there was I wanted to try Orto Parisi's Burger Musk. I wanted to try one of the Bond number 9s. There was a Robert Piguet Oud that I wanted to try, and there was a couple from Boadicea. Well, one in particular from Boadicea, the Victorious, that I really wanted to try. So I got to Harrods and I went straight to the Orto Parisi stand and I tried Burger Musk on my wrist, and I wasn't quite sure about it, but while I was doing that, the sales assistant sprayed a test card and gave it to me and said, "I'll try that. This is a fairly new one. You might like it." And I said, "Okay." Popped it in the inside pocket. Didn't think no more of it. Then I went to Robert Piguet and tried the Oud, which was really nice. And then I went over to Boadicea, the Victorious, and tried, I think, Blue Sapphire, which is absolutely stunning. I love that. And then the main point of me going to see the guys at Boadicea was to try a scent that they have called Complex. And I stupidly sprayed it on my skin. And that kind of brought my sniffing session at Harrods to an abrupt end because it was vile. For me to describe it, I would suggest the best way to describe it is to get a leather boot, piss on it, and then soak it in vinegar for a good couple of days, and then put it on a barbecue and close the lid of the barbecue so you're just getting the smoke on it. After about 2 days of smoking said pissy leather boot, take it out and drain the liquid off it, then bottle it and sell it for a couple of £100. And that, to me, is what Complex smelt like. Sadly, also, I got some on my suit jacket, so that's going to have to go to the dry cleaners because it's managed to permeate the jacket. And I understand people like challenging scents, but Complex was horrific. Anyway, on the way home, I kept getting this lovely waft coming up, and I thought maybe it was the Complex turning good on me or something like that. But no, the Complex still smelt vile, so that was the end of that. Anyway, I was hanging my jacket up and I could still get this lovely smell, and it actually was this. And here we are a good couple of weeks later, and I can still smell this test card. It's unbelievable. So obviously then I thought, right, I need to try this on skin, and I couldn't get back to Harrods to try it, so I had searched online and I found someone, really nice guy actually, who was selling decants of this scent, and the scent is Orto Parisi Megamare. Now it's only been out, it's a 2019 release, so it's quite a new one. So I really wanted to try. I just thought at one point, let's just get a bottle of it. I'll buy a bottle of it, and then I thought, hang on a minute, it might not work on your skin. It might smell revolting, etc. So I managed to source this decant, and a very helpful chap sold me 10 mils of it for a really good price and shipped it all the way from either Slovakia or Slovenia. Really good timing, really good service as well. So thanks very much for that, buddy. Anyhow, it arrived, and I very eagerly sort of sprayed it all over the shop. Forgetting that it's a very potent extract of parfum. So on Saturday I was going out to meet some friends for some drinks, and then I was meeting up with my family. We were going around a friend's house for a meal. So I had a nice relaxing soak before I went to the pub, and I quite liberally applied the Megamare and sprayed it all over. And then started walking up the road to go and meet my friends. And I was on my way out there, I suddenly realised, because this opens quite, it's not a shouty one, it doesn't project massively or anything like that, or so I thought. When I was walking up the road, it was a nice day, a bit like this, and I was getting warm, and the Megamare was coming everywhere. It was really quite intense. I definitely put too much on. But anyway, it's such an inoffensive smell. It doesn't matter if you do overspray it, really, because it smells absolutely divine. So I wore it for the day, and then I came back in the afternoon, got my family, and we went out for a meal in the evening, and I hadn't reapplied it at all, and it just stays there. This stuff, I've had tattoos that don't last as well as this. It just keeps on going. You'd have to really seriously scrub it off, which is what I did. I woke up on Sunday morning and I had to jump in the bath because it still smelled pretty much like I'd not long sprayed it. I cannot believe that this lasts as long as it does. It's amazing. The performance on the Megamare is just outstanding. So I looked online to see what other people thought of it, and because it's a fairly new release, there's not a great deal of information about it. What I did notice, though, there are quite a few people on Fragrantica that have made a review of it, and everybody in fragrance, you can't help yourself doing it. You'd like to compare something to something else, and every single review compared it to a different scent. So obviously it's quite polarizing in one respect. One person compared it to this, which is Curve, by Liz Claiborne, which is an absolutely fantastic cheapie, by the way. If you need, if you're lost for a summer scent and you don't want to spend any money, get this. I think you can get it for 12 quid in Boots. Really, really good scent, that, actually. And I'll do a separate review on it because I think it's an oldie, but a classic, and certainly one that is still very much wearable today, actually. It's not a bad scent by any means. But anyway, back to the Megamare. What does it smell like? It smells like, and this is it's supposedly an aquatic, but I wouldn't class it as an aquatic, but it does have an amazing ability to smell like the sea. It's quite stunning. I think there's a lot of I mean, the thing is, this is an Alessandro Gualtieri creation, and like the Nasamoto range that he did before, he doesn't release any notes with the perfumes. So once it's for sale, you need to smell it because there's no note listing. Everybody has an opinion on what's in it, but whether that's accurate or not, I don't know. And this, to me, it is quite unique. I haven't got anything remotely like it in my collection, and that's probably why I like it so much, because it smells of the sea. There's definitely there's musk in there. And there's ambergris in there, and there's some fruits, I think, as well. But it's all blended together very well. So when you spray it on your hand, which I'm wearing at the moment, when you get in close, it's quite a heavy scent. It's quite deep, and it's not light and airy or anything like that. But in the air, it does actually smell quite light. It's very, very clever. The blending of it is superb, and the longevity is off the hook. It just goes on and on and on and on and on and on, and it won't quit. One thing I will say is, if you do get it, and I recommend you do, or certainly get a decanter of it, try it, because I think it's something really, really special. Do not get it on clothing.
Don't even think about it.
The t-shirt I was wearing on Saturday, I don't know if I'm ever going to get the scent of this out of it, to be honest with you. And I knew that the guy that I bought this from sort of did warn me, don't get it on clothing. So I thought it had dried off before I got dressed, but it hadn't. So I have a t-shirt now, which is impregnated with Megamare, which isn't a bad thing because it does smell amazing. But yeah, so you kind of get quite a heavy opening with it, and then it stays sort of fairly heavy. When you put your nose into it, it doesn't smell light or airy, and it's certainly not like any other aquatic that I've ever smelled, because it is quite heavy. But as you pull away from it, it's just beautiful. I think this is sort of, when you wear it, you could easily think yourself, Christ, I'm Aquaman, walking out the sea. This does give an impression of, it's quite salty as well, which is, again, clever. It's sweet and salty at the same time. I mean, the best way to describe it is if you were wearing something really, really sweet, and then you took a dip in the Med, on a beautiful day, and you came out, and your skin would have the sea on it. The salty crustiness from the sea would affect your original scent. So you'd have a salty crust on top of a sweet scent. So it kind of balances it out. So it's not overly salty and it's not overly sweet. It's really, really clever. Projection-wise, it's not a massive projector. You sit in a bubble, which is great. With regards to sillage, I think you do leave a little trail of it as you walk around. People are certainly picking up on it. It's not a massive compliment, Garner, because it's quite, I think a lot of people wouldn't know what it was, and it smells interesting, rather than that smells amazing, which is kind of probably why I like it because it does smell so unique. I could gush on about this for hours, and I'm conscious that that can get quite boring. So, is it blind buy worthy? No, definitely not. It's an expensive perfume, so you know blind buying is always a gamble, especially when you're paying a lot of money for it. So I don't recommend blind buying it. I do recommend getting into a store that carries it, and I certainly recommend getting a decanter of it because it is an extract de parfum, so it does last literally forever. So a little does go a long way, but it doesn't project massively. Unique, yes, highly interesting and absolutely lovely. I hope this has been some kind of help to you, and if you do get a chance to have a crack at it, please do. The muskiness on this does make it seem to me quite masculine. I'm sure, you know, a female can wear this easily, but it does come across as a little masculine pretty much the entire way through the wearing. It's enchanting, which is quite a good word for describing something that's based on the sea. So yeah, give it a go, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. And thank you very much for your time. Take care. Bye-bye.